Hell yeah, alright. Video, 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 video space. Video talk.
Alright guys, I'm back. I'm back because last Sunday I did not do a show because I needed to take some rest because it was a very rough weekend last weekend. But now I'm in a pure and sane mental health, and my body is also very healthy. So now I can pull off this very hard live broadcast. Hello, how's there? Watford FC, greetings to London. Kalevi Koskinen, good evening. Heppo, good evening. Tutipuntti, good evening. And are you gonna stream from a bunker? Yes, this is my video bunker. Oh my god, oh my god. Travis is not okay. I need to have some air duct tape. I need to get some air duct tapes to fix him. I'm afraid he got badly burned last night. He hit himself to a candle because, as you may have been hearing, that there's a war going on in Europe. So, as in my Finnish broadcast and so in my English-speaking broadcast, until the war is over, I will. For every broadcast, I will light a candle for the victims of Ukraine. Ukraine war, whoever they may be, there's my little token for that. So, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. How are you guys? Because, you know, I make notes. I was preparing for this live chat. I really started to thinking, do I really want to do this? do I really want to talk about this? Because last 10 days have been very serious about, if you consider world politics and state of, you know, not to do war, global war, and to do global war. Because as far as I have been alive, I think it has never been this close to a World War III. That's right, Tutipunti, there is nothing a Jesus tape won't fix. I wish that would be so easy with this current state of affairs. I certainly wish so. So, I was gonna do this live broadcast about the nuclear war movies because I have done this on my Finnish channel. It was almost like exactly a year ago when I did this. It was a little bit different. I did this like a DEFCON 4, DEFCON 3, and DEFCON 2 and DEFCON 1. I categorized the films, nuclear war movies, about their DEFCON. So how large of a conflict there is in the movie. But I was gonna do this sometime in the spring, but I was thinking that I probably need to do this before it may be too late. So tonight we're gonna be talking about top 10 nuclear war movies of all time, and yeah. First of all, let me tell you something about myself. I'm kind of a guy, so I have been obsessed, you know, like very interested in nuclear war since I was a little kid. I remember going to the local library and, you know, lending some of those wars about nuclear war and how to survive about this. I don't know, I really don't know why is that, because I don't remember seeing any, you know, any nuclear war movies. as I was a kid, and I don't remember being like depressed about it or anxiety about it, but I really can't point out to you where's that point in my life that I got interested. Maybe because I have been interested in history, and I have been interested in foreign politics, and the close by superpower politics. In the 19th century superpower politics, that is a topic that has always been an interest of mine. So, of course, naturally, I have been also, because I'm a movie buff, so naturally I have been always also watching a lot of nuclear war movies as well. So, like I said, it's gonna be top 10, and it's gonna be also, there's gonna be honorable mentions before number 1. And as usual, you can type in the chat what is your favorite nuclear war movie. What gives you nightmares, or does this even affect you? Are you like a cool guy that you believe that it's gonna be okay and nothing bad's gonna happen? Because everybody certainly, I'm sure everybody is wishing for that, not anything bad to happen. But yeah, gotta tell you, I'm a little bit scared. But who wouldn't be? Hey, Watford FC, have you been cured from your COVID? And how is the missus also? Santeri Paju says, failsafe is probably my favorite of this genre. Do you mean the 60s failsafe, or do you mean the 2000s failsafe? I'm pretty sure that you are talking about 16th version. And also, yes, I'm not gonna be talking about the films like Terminator and films like Colossus, because not a film about which is like straight up in the realm of science fiction. And I am not gonna be talking about post-Holocaust, like these action western movies. I consider Mad Max to be, more like a western movie. It's not a nuclear war movie or something like 2019 After the Fall of New York. It's an adventure western movie, only with like futuristic elements in it. Yes, Santeri Paju did not know about the remake, but soon you will know about it. Watford FC says, we are now very fit and well, like a bad cold, thanks. Yeah, I'm very happy for you. Because it was like a bad cold, it was also that for me. Yes. So, little bit about the background. Yeah, in the 2022, there are 13,000 nuclear weapons in the world. 13,000. And 3,800 of those are, deployed. They are ready to use. And around 2,000 about those weapons are ready to be fired within a 15-minute warning range. So that is the situation in 2022. Because when these films, most of these films were made, they were a lot more different situation in the world than it is now, because Soviet Union was a lot bigger than USSR, and there were also a Warsaw Pact, something more like a Russian NATO. So the forces were a little bit bigger, but that is not to be said that those 2,000 weapons, they can easily, not, I don't want to say easily to destroy the world, because that's impossible, but they can easily destroy the current society that we are living in. It doesn't take too many cities to be exploded. There's gonna be a catastrophe never seen. That's my opinion. The Outlaw James Thompson says that his favorite movie is Stretch from year 1984. That is very good. So basically in the old times, the nuclear weapons were delivered mostly in a bomber aircraft. But nowadays there are two options. There are, like basic ICBMs and SLMBMs, like missiles from submarines and the underground silos you have seen in the movies. But I think those weapons, they are strategic. That's a very hard word to say, for at least for my tongue. Strategic nuclear missiles, and they are mostly used as a deterrence, as a retaliatory weapon system. They are not that much of a use of in a battlefield. If you want to use in a battlefield, you'll take the tactical nuclear weapons, which are more smaller, like from 50 kilotons to maybe even 200 kilotons. But these ICBM missiles are mostly they are varying from 100 kilotons to 500 kilotons. And if you compare it, the bomb they dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, was it like 1 kiloton? So it's 100 times that. So you're fucked, man. If that goes over you're fucked. You gotta be somewhere else. You gotta be somewhere else. The day after, says Yuri Laaksonen. And Arsi says, hello guys, what are these VHS types you're talking about? Are they something like duck comics? What? Coincidentally, this weekend I came across a cheap copy of Blu-ray for Miracle Mile, which was very offbeat and fun World War III flick. I do agree on that. Oh my god! Nico75 says, nice topic, have a ski holidays and beer also. Hey, I forgot to mention, even though all this crap is going on in the world, I do have my winter holidays, if you didn't know already. And Nico75, thank you so much for your 10 euros. I appreciate it, because I was a little bit depressed when I was, like writing down this program. So, but that will a little bit help me. Yeah, thanks. What for F's is the day after amazing chilling film, in my opinion. Yes. I am very happy that most of you guys have seen a lot of these films. Yeah. All right. And yeah. So, okay, there's a little bit about background. Nobody knows what's gonna happen tomorrow or next week. Or week after that, but no, maybe we'll start talking about these movies, because and I will tell you about the movie and give you a little bit of my review of it, and also my opinion. Is that a realistic scenario, and could that fit for today, for these times, these dark times we are living in? Yeah, okay, first in my list. And most of you who have watched the Finnish broadcast may know at least some of these films. But my number 10 in this list is something called Countdown to Looking Glass from year 1984. And this film is starring Scott Glenn, and it's a Canadian TV movie. And this movie is built like news broadcast. The film is, the story is told through the news broadcast, and once and for a while there's this dramatic section where these news broadcasters, they're talking to each other and what should we do and like that. And what for FC? £8 and 99 pence. Have another beer. Yes, I will. Thank you so much, and God bless, and good luck to you, and greetings to Mrs. also. Thank you so much. I will take my miracle drink now. My miracle potion. My miracle potion is coming. Yeah. The Maria Kossu is back on the menu, boys. I'm very sorry, I forgot to download the picture for this countdown to looking glass. This is one of those only one in this list that I don't have. This has been released on DVD, but I don't have that DVD. I was a nasty boy and I watched this on YouTube, and at least a year ago it was available on YouTube, but I did not check it out if it's available right now. Thank you, What for FC. And also for Nico too. 75, thank you so much. And happy holidays to you, Nico. What about Watford? Do you have holidays? Winter holidays? Do you celebrate winter holidays in your country? Woo! Yeah. Okay, but in this film, Countdown to Looking at Glass, like I said, it is like told in the way of news broadcast. And in this film, there's kind of like interesting scenario. There's a lot of problem going on in the world. There's like this bank crisis, and also there's like a hostage situation in the Middle East. And maybe the president of the United States is so like stressed out, so he decides to make this like this military operation and to help Saudi Arabia to do something. I don't remember exactly what was it, but the point is that the Soviet Union doesn't care too much about it, and they make this puppet government to like bring this oil embargo in the Middle East. So there this crisis keeps developing, and we see these news broadcasts from day to day 3, day 4, and how this crisis develops. And Scott Glenn, you might remember him from the Silence of the Lambs and bunch of other great films. He plays this news broadcast man, and he is on board in this aircraft carrier somewhere in the Middle Eastern. And yeah, it's very well made film, and the tension goes, like they are turning the screw like tighter and tighter, and you know what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but maybe you can guess that this film is on this list, so maybe you can guess what happens in the end. But the point is that this film doesn't, show too much of the aftermath. It ends like in the chilling, like very downbeat note, this film. Everything goes black. Have you guys seen Countdown to Looking Glass? Yes, it's on my list, Yuri, but I haven't got it yet. What? Miracle Mile. Okay, I'm going away on Thursday for 5 days. Right on to Belfast, Northern Ireland. Funny enough. Alright, hey, have a great holiday, you. Hey, Santeri Paju has also started his winter holiday. After all, we are having all great time, doesn't we? Don't we? Downloading Countdown from YouTube now. Not even heard about. Hey, Lino Marchetti, greetings to, not in Italy, but in was it Florida? I have good memory. Only problem is that it is pretty short. Yes, Countdown to Looking Glass. Check it out. If you are a fan of nuclear war movies, you are gonna like this. And also a similar film to that is like a Special Bulletin. A film called Special Bulletin that is also was available on YouTube, but I didn't put that on my list because that is like a nuclear terrorism film. This list doesn't contain, what was this film, like a Peacemaker, where they like a bunch of terrorists take nuclear weapons and threaten the world or even use it, but these terrorist film are not included on this list. But Special Bulletin, it is a great film made like in this newsflash style. Check it out too. Pennsylvania, not Florida. Pennsylvania, alright. But my memory is getting better. It's getting better. Halloween Jack says, hello everybody, Banning in Year Zero is one of the rare flicks from this genre which I have seen, as I think it might be the only film that I have seen which has living after atomic bomb explosion. Yes, maybe I will talk about that a little bit later. And also Tupes says Stretch. Yes, maybe I gotta talk about that later. 1950s Invasion USA has got to be the funniest nuclear movie ever. Yes, maybe I will mention that too. Alright, how about giving me a like if you like that the world has some peace. Not nuclear. Don't like a nuclear war, but if you want to like this broadcast, hit that like button. Alright. Hey, Countdown to Looking Glass, maybe you should check it out. I would rate it like 4 stars. And is that a realistic scenario? Well, yes, it is. It is because there is like tensions in the global politics are tensioning as we see today. But not necessarily in the Middle Eastern, which is surprising to say the least. But yeah, we are seeing that in Ukraine like right now. But I wouldn't expect no oil embargo to come in play anytime soon. But yeah. And also one thing, in my opinion, if somebody starts shooting nuclear missiles, it doesn't take too long that it escalates very quickly. So in this film, the people are waiting. So I don't think there's time to wait in a nuclear war. I don't think so. Alright. Hey, the next in my list, number 9. Maybe everybody has seen this film. Yes. Okay. Oh. Holy shit. Number 9. Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Love the Bomb. How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Do not stop worrying. Do not love the bomb. But this is a Stanley Kubrick film from year 1964, and everybody has probably heard about it at least. Maybe you have not seen it, but you have certainly heard about this. This is starring Peter Sellers and Sterling Hayden, Keenan Moon, Slim Pickens, and also, of course, the how can I forget this guy's name? George C. Scott. How could I forget about his name? And this is a satire about nuclear war, and this is only one on my list which is a satire. And yeah, in this film, Sterling Hayden plays this General Jack T. Ripper, and the guy who single-handedly wants to start a nuclear war against USSR, and he sends his bombers to bomb the hell out of Moscow without any reason, because he's a red scare guy, and he is fearing the communism, and he is fearing about the fluorization of the water and all kinds of weird shit. Yeah. Like I said, it's a comedy, it's a satire, but I gotta tell you that I'm a huge Stanley Kubrick fan. I'm a huge nuclear war movie fan. I do like satires and comedies, but in my opinion, I think this is the only one that is a little bit overrated from Stanley Kubrick. I hate to say it, but in my opinion, maybe Stanley Kubrick doesn't succeed too much to be like to make a funny film. To be deliberately trying to make people laugh. Maybe that is not his cup of tea. Now, I know that there's a lot of funny scenes in his films. Like a Clockwork Orange has very, very funny scenes. Full Metal Jacket has very funny scenes. Even Shining has very funny scenes. But they're not intended like as a farce or satire or comedy. Maybe this was only that type of film that Stanley Kubrick ever did. Probably, yeah. I know I really can't point my finger. What is like the thing that bugs me in this film? Maybe it's Peter Sellers, because I'm not a huge fan, but I think he does a very decent role here as a Doctor Strangelove. But is he a little bit over the top? I don't know. For some reason, every time I watch it, I want to like this more, but I don't. And I can't put my finger what it is there. Don't get me wrong, it's a great picture, it's a good movie, it's well shot, of course, it's a Stanley Kubrick film, it's black and white, and it has its moments. It certainly has. And also it has classic moments, classic rap lines all over it. But something is just missing. I'm very sorry if there's somebody that this is absolutely his favorite film of Stanley Kubrick. So I'm very happy for you, but it's not for me. I think Dr. Strangelove's strengths aren't exactly its humor. Yeah, I think so too. I really can't point out what's wrong with it, but something feels like offbeat in it. Always has been. Hey, you're talking about Panic in the Year Zero and Wind Blows. Yeah, those are great, and we'll be talking about those too. But, oh well, I would rate this, I don't know why I would still rate this. It is better than average film, for sure. 3.5 stars, I would rate this. And this is further on my list because this is more well known. But and more this has got more production value, even though I think I like more the previous film, Countdown to Looking Glass. But maybe I want to rate this higher because it is Stanley Kubrick after all. But yeah, maybe most of people who have seen both of these films would say that this is the better film. But I'm a weird dude. Yeah. Did you know that this film had pretty much a different ending? The original ending was pretty different. It ended in a pie fight in this war room. And they actually shot this scene where all these guys start throwing pies at each other. But Stanley Kubrick cut it out because it was too silly and didn't fit for the satire elements previously seen on this film. This scene, to my knowledge, it doesn't exist in anywhere. Only some photographs are something that is left from that scene. And did you also know that this film was test screened the same day JFK got shot in November 22 in the year 1963? And because of that tragedy, the filmmakers decided to postpone this film to the next year. And I think that was probably a wise choice. And did you also know that this film was basically based in a same novel, or a similar book was also made about similar situation, which they made a film called Fail Safe, and that was also made in the year 1964. But I will talk about this incident a little bit more when I get to the failsafe part of this broadcast. Maybe we are watching it on wrong year, maybe open better on 60. What? Yeah. Okay, now I understand. Yeah, maybe this is the wrong year. Maybe it was. Yeah, for sure. It was more effective back in the 1964, for sure. And this was the first. One of the first nuclear war movies, the films that were about nuclear war. And by the way, did you know also that in the Space Odyssey 2001, which was the next film Kubrick made, it was 4 years later. Was it 1968? No, around that time. Also, there in the original book of 2001 Space Odyssey, it is mentioned that this You know, you remember the scene where the monkey throws the bone in the space in no, it not in the space, in the sky, and then it cuts to the space station. So you can see that model that flies beside the camera. You can see that there's US Air Force flags in it. So in the first cut of that film, there was narration which explained that in the year 2100 or whatever, mankind has built these huge weapons with 100 megaton nuclear detonators that can be launched everywhere in the world, can be dropped anywhere in the world within like 10 minutes or something like that. But Stanley Kubrick scrapped that from that movie because he didn't want to be labeled as this nuclear guy. So because the last movie he did was Doctor Strangelove, so I think it was for the better that he didn't like want to do the same trick again. But that's for damn sure. It is in the book. I would like to see that original narration cut of 2001 for sure. Vanska says, I watched this movie from Kubrick for the first time about 4 years ago, and it's 3.5 of 5 stars. Yeah, my point is similar rating from me too. Yeah. Okie dokie. Let's move to the next movie on my list, and that is something called Uhka idästä, which means in English language it means the threat from the east, and the original name of this film is By Dawn's Early Light, and this is a HBO TV movie directed by Jack Shoulder and made in the year 1988. Yeah, and I do also have the DVD of the same film. Yeah, in this movie, some Turkish guys, not necessarily Turkish, but some terrorist guys from Turkey, they are launching one single nuclear missile to the USSR. And of course the USSR blames that, holy shit, what the fuck you NATO guys are doing shooting missiles at our asses. And of course they launch a limited retaliatory strike, and Martin Landau stars the President of the United States and tries to negotiate with the Russians that, no, my motherfuckers, we didn't got shit to do with that motherfucker. But they don't believe it, and they try to diplomatically solve the situation that it wouldn't get any worse than that. And Powers Booth, one of my favorite actors, may he rest in peace, and Rebecca De Mornay also, they are starring as these bomber pilots who are sent to the Russian territory to bomb the hell out of the Russians. And also James Earl Jones is playing this military general guy who is in this Air Force command unit. By the way, that is a true story. There is such a plane which is used to, order military during the nuclear war. And by the way, that plane went up in the air last Sunday when Putin announced that he could use a nuclear missile. So that up it went to the air, and nobody knows where it is, but it is there. That airplane, by the way, it can be the best time, it can be like for a week, it can be simultaneously without landing, it can be on air. Of course, it has to be refueled. I don't know what was the name of that plane, but yeah. Any movie is automatically better when you add Powers Booth. Yes, put that power on the line, man. And in this film also, Powers Booth does a very powerful performance. So, it actually has been quite a while since I last watched it. It was like over a year ago when I did the Finnish nuclear war broadcast. But as far as I remember, it's a good film. It's a good film, and Washington explodes in this. And also there's Rip Torn playing this like rogue general, this kind of eagle general who wants to start a nuclear war. He wants to use the full retaliatory capacity of United States Army. And Martin Landau, as a president of the United States, he survives the first attack on Washington, and they think he's dead, but he is not. And he tries to convince them, hey, it is me, the president, don't do it, man, I got touched with the Russians, so come on, stop this madness. It's a very exhilarating drama. I would give it a 4 stars, absolutely 8 out of 10. If you have not seen it, watch it. I think it is easily available on DVD also. What else I had to say? Yeah, it was directed by Jack Shoulder, the same guy who directed The Hidden and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. The Gay Freddy part. Yeah. Great stuff all around. Would this be a realistic scenario? Well, why not? Why not? Because when the situation is this tense as it is now, what would happen if some bunch of terrorists would be in Turkey, in the border of Turkey, and they would somehow find a nuclear warhead and launch it to the Russia? Oh my god. What would happen? Because I think there's so much tension within those guys. They are ready to go. They are, man, because the situation is so tense. You know, like in the year 1983, when there was this error, the famous error, I am sure there were a lot of others that we don't even know about. But there was this famous error that the missile radar detected in Russia. It detected the US first strike, but this guy in the missile command pad, he didn't believe it, and he turned off the system, and then the alarm went back again, and he did it again, turned it off back also, and then it was not. It turned out to be like a flock of birds or something. So that really scares me. What would happen if this kind of false alarm goes on today? Next, this evening, what would happen? But yeah, sure, I can see that some terrorists would like to take advantage of this tense situation and do some nasty shit, like, and try to frame, yo, it was NATO guys, so blame it on them. So I don't know if they want to see world burn. But what I find in this film, I find unrealistic that these events take so much time, because I don't think it would be impossible, you know, like if Washington would explode, the rest of the US government and military, they would have to assume that Joe Biden is dead. They couldn't be afford to listen some guy in telephones and, hey, I'm the president, listen to my voice, man. They just would have to assume that he's dead when his chopper goes down. And also, everything takes very suspiciously long time in this film. Well, maybe that is the unrealistic part of this film. But I do recommend Uhka idästä, Threats from the East, or Countdown to Looking Glass. Check it out. Check it out if you can. Alright. Have you guys seen this film? With Powers Booth. Has anybody seen By Dawn's Early Light, or do you want to see it after my speech? If not, I take off my shirt. Lino Marchetti has seen it many years ago. Time for a rewatch. I recommend it. It's getting hot. Uhka idästä sounds like a film that I'm going to watch. Great cast. Yeah, I don't know if it's available in any streaming service. I cannot recommend you to check out YouTube. If somebody has uploaded it, then I don't recommend it. Alright. So this is a film that everybody already mentioned. Many of you mentioned already. Wait a second. This is my number 7. It is called Fail Safe. Holy shit! Made in the same year as Stanley Kubrick's Doctor Strangelove, and it was gonna be released before Doctor Strangelove, but guess what happened? Stanley Kubrick, they bought the rights to this film and they postponed it, so it didn't release, but only a few months after the Doctor Strangelove, and that really did serious damage to this film. This was flop, and critics didn't like it. So, and this was like a kind of like forgotten about. But in my opinion, this is far superior to the Doctor Strangelove. And now we are talking about over 4-star film. Okay, what is this film about? Well, this there is this a routine bomber tour where these guys in a bomber, they go up in the air ready to go to the Russia if the call comes. And this apparently was a routine flight in the like the very cold days in the Cold War. I can only imagine what all this cost. Yeah. So when they are doing like this routine check with the computers, and for some reason the Russians try their new like radar jamming technique, and then there's this computer malfunction, and then the signal goes to that one aircraft carrier or the fleet of aircraft carriers to go on to the bomber mission to the Moscow. And this squadron of airplanes, they are all carrying two 20 megaton nuclear bombs. So that is serious. That can do serious damage. Yeah, and then the people in the war room or this like this NORAD station, they are starting to get a little bit worried that what is this one plane doing? They are going to the Moscow, and then they try to call back, but the radar jammer is on, so they cannot communicate them. And when they are beyond that border, the commander of the aircraft is instructed not to listen to any kind of other commands than they are already had agreed to do. Very good thriller, and it was directed by Sidney Lumet, a classic director of films like Justice for All, Dog Day Afternoon, and classic films like that. And this too is a classic. And this is starring also Daniel O'Hurley, who a guy who goes on a very grim bombing mission in the end of this film, and also Henry Fonda as the President of the United States. Whoa, what a guy. And also Larry J.R. Hagman, Larry Hagman who played J.R. in Dallas. Dallas was hot shit in Finland back in the 80s. Not like everybody was talking about Dallas, and also every other video cover said that yeah, this motherfucking film has Larry J.R. Hagman in it, so watch this or be a sucker. No, it actually didn't. That didn't happen. I was like exaggerating a little bit. Yeah, but Larry J.R. Hagman plays the Russian translator for Henry Fonda. Larry Hagman has a good role as well, says Vince Majestic. You are quite right then. Even kids were watching Dallas back then. Yeah, that was the shit. And you are quite right about that, Vince Majestic. Failsafe is a masterpiece. Yeah. So, also this film has a very, very chilling performance by none other than Walter Matthau, a guy who is mostly known about his comedic talent, but in this film he plays like this like a very right-winged nuclear analyst, and we are introduced to him in the opening scene where he gives this like a cocktail party speech about the nuclear war and what we must do, we must kill everybody and stuff like that. And if you have seen this film, you remember when he punches the girl and he's, "I'm not your kind." Now that's a great Walter Matthau performance right there. And in the end, when the unthinkable happens, I really love how he just starts calculating. So, okay, first, no point saving humans because they are already dead, and also we need to get the valuable papers out of there because our economy depends on it. Very chilling stuff. Very chilling stuff. Could this happen today? Sure. Machines do malfunction. They do indeed malfunction. So in an international crisis like this, it could be very terrifying scenario if a computer malfunctions and sends like this bogus signal to do something, and it gets everybody confused. So better hope that none of this type of errors does not happen. Better hope. Well, this also is a black and white film, weirdly enough, like the Doctor Strangelove. But like I said, in my opinion, this is a better one. Pretty similar subject, and I understand why Mr. Stanley Kubrick wanted to postpone it, because I think he was afraid for his film. If this would have come out before Doctor Strangelove, I think it would have greatly affected the Doctor Strangelove. But after the Strangelove, everybody was like, "Oh, good, this is too grim, and it is supposed to be funny like Doctor Strangelove. This is too grim. You need to tone it down with humor." No, you don't. Nuclear war is serious business. Hey, by the way, here I have the UK Blu-ray of the from Criterion, and this is a very good release. And I would definitely like to see this on HDR, 4K HDR, because for some reason black and white film look very good when they are properly done on HDR. Don't you think? If this comes out on 4K, I will be the first one to order it. That would be the second. That would be the third when I bought the same film, but that is not anything special for me. This was never released in Finland back in the day on VHS, and it was only released on as Pommin varjossa, In the Shadow of a Bomb, on DVD. And by the way, I do have that DVD, but it is on loan as we speak from one pal of mine. He also did enjoy that very much. What can I say? It's a bona fide classic. If you have not seen it, I strongly suggest, if you want to see this, because it's thought-provoking, very, very strong stuff, and great performances. Yeah. Sidney Lumet has made some serious masterpieces. Kinda strange he's not considered a great movie auteur as widely as you might expect. Isn't he? Well, in my opinion, he is considered a great auteur. He has done so many good films. Walter Matthau is the best. He has so many great films. Pelham 1, 2, 3. By the way, I have not seen Pelham 1, 2, 3. Joel Warwick, I have not seen that. And Laughing Policeman, no, I have not seen that. But I tell you what I have seen. Dennis the Menace. If you watch Failsafe, be sure to watch Dennis the Menace after it. And like I promised, I was gonna be talking about the remake of Failsafe. It is called Pettämätön järjestelmä, which means the system that cannot fail. But the original name, of course, is the Failsafe. And this is directed by Stephen A. Fierce, and it is starring George Clooney, Don Cheadle, James Cromwell, Brian Dennehy. Great cast, and Richard Dreyfuss also. And this was made for the CBS network. And what is very curious about this film, this was made as a teleplay. It was like a theatrical. It was taken like in one shot, like a theater play. because that was the old style. In the 50s, when the people did television programs, drama programs, comedy programs, they were all done live because they did not have the ability to record them when they did it in the television studio. So this was done like in the old times, and I have to say, hey, by the way, Harvey Keitel, motherfucker, he is also in this film. Oh my god, I forgot about that. And Sam Elliott, holy shit, this is filled with great cast names. Motherfucker, I want to see this immediately. But a teleplay from year 2000, I don't think there has been not that many teleplays within the few decades, few past decades, but this is one of them. One of those crazy teleplays, and it is, in my opinion, very good remake of this 60s film. And George Clooney, who is apparently one of the producers of this teleplay, he plays this bomber captain who is sent to the Moscow. If you can find this, hey, John wait. No. I thought John Turturro was also in this, but no, not it. No, he is. Okay, now I stop watching the cover and talking about this film. Yeah. If you can find this somewhere, and if you have seen this, watch this first. Then you probably can appreciate this more after you have seen the original, because it is a teleplay, so there's kind of like these limitations to everything. Like if you think about them, the camera angles and edits and camera, like dollies and stuff like that. So, but I think it's a kind of a neat idea that they did like this as a teleplay. Has anybody seen the remake? The teleplay. 51 people watching. Well, thank you. Hello. Greetings to everybody. Hey, remember to hit that like button if you like this kind of a show. If I remember correctly, Sidney Lumet started as a teleplay director in the 50s. Alright. I think John Frankenheimer started as that way too. You can kind of see in their movies in the 60s. Yeah, okay. Henry's movie blog I have both versions. And Lino Marchetti from Pennsylvania. Both are worth watching and both have fantastic casts. Quite right about that, Mr. Lino Marchetti. And I bet, do you remember these snapper cases? These were like these first DVD cases that came out. I don't know, these are pretty cool. But yeah, I can understand why they gave up on these, because if you break them, so basically you're fucked. Because you cannot get another case. You need to buy another one if it's badly broken. Vanska, I am indeed scared of a nuclear war. Like I said in the beginning, when I was like doing my notes for this broadcast, I was really like, feeling anxiety, and it is not because of I'm afraid to go live in front of you guys. No, it was something else. This is the first time when I have been alive that this is really a serious matter. It could happen. But okay, so if you think about it rationally, right now there is no immediate threat about that right now. But as last 10 or 11 days have proved, situations can change pretty quickly. But only a fool wouldn't be afraid of nuclear war. So, but let's count on that this will go on. They will find some other solution than that. Let's hope so. And I am certain of it. But it is kind of a depressing to say the least, and scary. Okie doke. Maybe let's move to the happier subjects. Let's move to the animation film When the Wind Blows. When the Wind Blows, directed by Jimmy T. Murakami, and based on animations by this guy called Raymond Briggs, who was a known children's like fairy tale book author at the time. And this was made in the year 1986, and this was also made like a comic book. And I did read that in the library when I was a kid, and yeah, it was pretty disturbing. And oh my god. In this film, like I said, it's an animation film, like drawn with this kind of naivistic style of animation, this kind of cutesy style of animation. And this film is about two elderly British couple that are living in some countryside, and yeah, there's a nuclear war is approaching. They're listening to the radio and like making all the preparations that they possibly can, and following the government directions how to build like a nuclear war refuge, and how to protect yourself against the radiation, and what to do when the sirens go off and stuff like that. And these elderly people, they are very naivistic. They are World War II veterans, not veterans, but survivors of World War II. I don't remember what it talking about, that this husband of this couple, was he in war? But they are very confident to their government that they are doing the job correctly. All they have to do is listen to the directions and everything will be fine. Well, everything won't be fine. This is a very sad and depressing story. After the bomb fall, when the wind blows, the radiation comes, and this film basically describes how they die. Very sad film. Very depressing film. And yeah, this is a BFI, very good BFI release from Great Britain. And by the way, this is one film that has never been released in Finland, as far as I know, not in any form, and not even shown on television, as far as I know. But maybe somebody will check out Elonet and prove me wrong. DVD and Blu-ray between the same covers, and also we have this great looking booklet to prove that what they did in this film. And yeah, I almost forgot, but this animation is like this kind of this great looking style, because they have used like models, like a miniature furniture, like this, like how could I even describe it? Built from scratch. Like they would do stop motion stage for, but then with animation did the characters. It looks kind of like very fantastic. I would be amazed if somebody had not done this in a children's program. This certainly is not a children's program. I think Murakami also directed Battle Beyond Stars. Maybe you may be right about that. The name rings a bell, but I don't remember that well. These are quite stressful times indeed, but hopefully they will find some better solution than continuing this war situation, and it's quickly over. Let's certainly hope so. There is my sad little candle burning for all these victims of this terrible war. When the Wind Blows is on my watch list. Animation looks great and it even has a track by... Oh yeah! Hey, holy hell, how did I forget that? It has a soundtrack by David Bowie. Yeah, you're quite right about that. And if you... I don't know where you're gonna be watching this, but this BFI release is pure dynamite. It got shit ton of extras. Of course, it's a Blu-ray, and also it's got interviews and storyboards and whatnot. And was there even a commentary? Feature-length documentary about the film's director. Audio commentary with the first assistant editor Joe Fordham and film historian Nick Redman. I have not listened to that, but I did watch the 77-minute documentary about that. Great stuff. All right. Animation style is really cool. Indeed it is. And very haunting movie, Watford FC said. Yeah. It's a British movie, and I bet that is even more effective in your country. I bet it has been shown on television lots of times. But we have not been seeing that in the television as far as I know, like I said. Alright. Next up, Miracle Mile. Here we see Finnish VHS of this film, Miracle Mile, Pelon Maili, which means the Mile of Fear. This is kind of an opposite to Miracle Mile. But anyway, also I do indeed have the British Arrow video release of the same film, and this is pretty good release. Special edition with a shit ton of extras and great extras with cast and crew and all that jazz. But what is this film even about? This doesn't look like a political film, and it is not. This is about this this museum guy played by Anthony Edwards, who was later playing in the what the hell is that hospital here? ER. Is that was he in ER, but what, or some other hospital here? I don't watch that hospital crap, so I don't know which one of those he was in. But anyway, in this film he is like this museum clerk or this tour guide in the museum, and he finds a girl of his dreams, and they set up a date in this cafe in 3 o'clock in the night, and for a freak accident his alarm clock is running late, and then he goes to the it was supposed to be at midnight, but then he goes to the diner at 3 o'clock. And then there he waits for his date and tries to call her, but of course she doesn't answer. But then the phone rings, and guess what happens? Anthony Edwards picks up the phone, and there's this weird voice that is saying, "Hey, I am calling from this missile launch base, and guess what? We just launched our first strike missiles to Moscow, and I would reckon that within an hour the retaliation attack will hit the continent of United States and also every major city in there." So Anthony Edwards is like, what the fuck? And then the panic starts to, spread on the streets of LA. Directed by Stephen Jarnot and made in the year 1988, and music by Tangerine Dream. This is truly an unique film. This is like so accelerating film, and like I cannot compare it to anything else. It's an exciting film, also funny film, absurd film, filled with strange characters, and kind of like a mixture of nuclear terror drama and also kind of this like cool looking and sounding and feeling LA noir in it. It is happening in the night, one night in LA streets, empty streets, and they are soon to be filling with panicked people. In many ways, it feels like a little bit like Terminator or To Live and Die in LA or something like that. And the Tangerine Dream score, it's like kicking balls all around. My God, Steve DeCharnat also directed Cherry 2000, but as far as I know, those were only 2 films that he ever directed. But my God, this is a better film than Cherry 2000, and I would certainly recommend this to anybody who usually likes movies in general. If you have not seen it, check it out, man, check it out. And it will leave you like a very strange feeling. So what did I just say? And could this happen? Could this happen? Yeah, I forgot to say, could this happen on When the Wind Blows? Yeah, it could. But basically there is not too much explained the scenario in the When the Wind Blows. So basically that is secondary in that. But in this, could this happen? First strike. Could Joe Biden launch a first strike against the Russian base? Why not? Why not? Basically, I don't think he has the right to do that, and no sane person would attempt to that. But there is a concept of first strike, to strike first when the situation seems, even though there was not war, if the situation seems that you cannot beat your opponent, you need to use that situation while you can and strike first and try to make the best you can. And basically, we don't know anything about no crisis in this film. No, all we know that these guys launched their nuclear war to USSR and Warsaw Pact, and they are ready to pay the price. Oh my God, very stressing shit, man. And yeah, Vince Majestic says, and this Anthony Edwards and Mary Willingham, they are the romantic couple in this film, and they are in the extras, and they got started to date on this film, and they are still together. Yeah, and like Vince said, they got married. That's love. That's Miracle Mile for you. And also, this film is starring this Brian Thompson, the guy from Cobra, who is playing the night slasher. But here he is playing this gay bodybuilding helicopter pilot. Sounds weird, yeah? Well, it is. It is very weird. I would love to know in every movie how hard they are to get in physical many. Well, all right. Hey, all you need is ask. Well, basically, Miracle Mile you probably can get from Amazon or in Arrow Videos website. Yeah. And same goes for probably for When the Wind Blows 2 from Amazon. I haven't checked. Maybe next time I will remember that and also give you my insights if it's easily available. Maybe I even put links below this video in the description text. But I don't know where to get failsafe. Is this out of print? This Criterion, and I don't know if this is available in any way. This Uhka-idästä. Maybe you should check out your local flea markets for that. And this one too, I don't remember. I really don't know where to get that. And Dr. Strangelove probably is widely available in every net shop you can think of. Will it be like new Barbarians after the nuclear holocaust? I don't think so. I hope I don't meet the Templars. They would bend me over and you know what happens next. When I was a little boy and I watched New Barbarians, which I probably shouldn't have done, and when they bent over the hero and George Eastman goes like this, I was looking, is he punching him? I don't know what's happening. He's probably like beating the hell out of his back. Because I didn't understand what's going on there. And I was not that little. But it's not that hard to figure out nowadays. Miss Majestic says failsafe is not out of print, so go order it now. The best version is the US UK Criterion. There is also Australian Blu-ray. Yes, I did indeed have that. This is the UK Criterion right here. Okay, so far it has been very easy going, but now it's time for the major leagues. The rest of the four and these, now it's time for serious shit. The War Game from year 1965. Another British film and directed by a guy called Pete Watkins, a guy who has also made another great picture called Culloden, which is in this BFI release too. And he also did a great picture called Punishment Park. If you have not checked those out, check as well those out. But let's talk about The War Game. This was made for BBC, the British Board of British, the National British TV, or how do you say that? BBC, and it was hoped to be aired when it got ready, but they shit-canned it, and there has not been that many films that they really didn't refuse to play on air. It was only like in year 1984 when this got first played on television. But it was not banned, but they rolled it around enough so it got forgotten. So they just we cannot show this. This is too disturbing, and this does not comply with the government policy on nuclear deterrence. And that was the reason. And because BBC is part of it is taking orders from the British government, so somebody in the Home Office said that, hey, don't fucking play that shit. Don't fucking fuck with me. Don't fuck with us, because you cannot play that shit on air. Because people are gonna be very angry. Okay, so what is this film about? Well, okay. This film tells it's a pseudo-documentary about the nuclear war on Great Britain, and it tells about with the people that are acting like professionals, and guys who go, they're doing interviews around Britain, and then it happens. The nuclear war starts, and then this documentary crew is going around country to interview the victims of the war, and also to interview the experts what happens, and also it quotes the real life experts of nuclear war specialists and how careless they sound. That's pretty much all the plot that I can give you, but it is very shocking indeed, very shocking, and also this is shot on black and white and very, very depressing. And well, this has probably not been done with huge budget, but nevertheless this is very effective film. This even shows the burning houses, and there's one scene where they show houses burning and firemen choking, and then the narrator just said, who by the way is somebody called Michael Aspel. He says that, okay, these firemen are choking to death because there's a firestorm which sucks the air out of the air, because there's so huge fires created by the nuclear explosion fireball. And this happened in Dresden, and this happened in Tokyo in the Second World War, and this will happen in the next war too. And these men are dying, and then they show burning car. In this car, family is burning alive. This is nuclear war. Whoa. This is a very scary documentary, and the duration is pretty short. This is only like 46 minutes long, so it basically doesn't even feel like a feature film length. And maybe some of the performances in these, like people who they interview, maybe they are a little bit hammy, some of them. But most of the actors in this are very realistic, especially these housewives who seem to be suffering from like shell shock, battleground shocks, or like going like this. And man. Everybody who is warmongering, like right now, like yeah, we should show the Russians like who is who. They should be shown this film. This is nuclear war. This is terrible. You cannot win in that war. Hey, go to work, Mr. Watford FC. Great stuff that you have been here, and thank you for your super chat. Always appreciated that. Vince Majestic says, I think I know the top 3. Well, maybe it's not hard to guess from here. But yeah, the War Game. Have you all seen War Game? I hope you have. Is there anybody who heard from this film the first time now? I was also shocked the scene from the new Barbarians when I first did see it. Yeah, the horrors in the War Game is nothing compared to the horrors of the new Barbarians, because that's real terror. By the way, I was joking. Punishment Park is amazing and on YouTube. Must seek out War Game. And also, Lino Marchetti, check out Culloden. It is also on this box. Film called Culloden. It's about this very unnecessary fight that they had in England in 1900s or something. And the style of that documentary is pretty similar to the Punishment Park and War Game. It is very good. That is very good also, and also proving how futile war making can be, at least. Okay, the final 3. We are about to go really nuclear. Tutipunti have not seen it, have to put it on the list. Please put this also. The Testament. Oi. The Testament. Oh, it is only Testament. And here I have a Finnish VHS which is called Viimeinen Testamentti, the last Testament. So, this was directed by a woman called Lynn Littman, and this is the only woman-directed film on this list. And it is starring Jane Alexander and William Devine. And yeah, this tells a story about maybe the most hideous type of attack. Without any kind of warning attack, without the first strike attack. So basically, everything seems to be just fine. They have a great family, William Devine and Jane Alexander. William Devine goes to a business trip to San Francisco. I don't remember where they lived in this film, but he went away, and in the middle of the day, perfectly normal day, suddenly the TV starts yelling like, alert, 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 emergency broadcast. And then the news lady says that there has been nuclear explosions in the eastern coast of United States. And then the screen goes like off, and there's a flash in the sky. And the rest of the movie is like this small community of people, a small village, trying to cope with the situation. And pretty soon the people are starting to die of radiation sickness. This is very terrible film, and I do mean terrible in a sense that it is horrifying film. You know, the radiation does not save anybody, and it's a drama film, very slow burner, but when you can subscribe to the suffering of these people, you get it. You really do get it. And by the way, this was one of the first Kevin Costner films, if not the first film of Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner is even on this extra on this film, and he is telling about the experience and how hard it was back in the year 1984 when there was sure that the war is about to start. And also Rebecca De Mornay, maybe she is the only two-timer in this on my list. Yeah, and I mean appearing on two films, not like doing two-timing. Hey, this film is also starring Mako, a guy from Conan the Barbarian and Die Hard. This one too has a great cast, and maybe this is the most dramatic film on this list. And I think this may be the most less known film on this list, but it's rough stuff. I bet many of you have not even heard about this film, but now consider yourself heard and get this film. Nico asked where to get this. I really don't know. I don't know if this is available in any shop, because this too is kind of like old DVD, and as far as I know, this has only been released on Region 1 territory in the United States, but that too I could be wrong. And I think this has been released like almost 20 years ago. Gotta be the first DVDs to be released, you know, because there's this crummy looking widescreen text here. And this Finnish VHS also, I have seen like twice this on sale and for sale, but the prices have not been that great, because I think this is a very little known film. But yet I recommend this wholeheartedly. And this needs a Blu-ray. I could imagine something like Kino Lorber doing a Blu-ray on that, and let's hope for that. Yay! I never thought you would have Testament so high. In your opinion, don't you think that it deserves to be on that high on the list? Whew! All this talking is making me hot. Okay, 2 is remaining. So what about seuraava päivä, the day after? Oh shit, directed by Nicholas Meyer and also released in year 1983. And this was made also for the television. Was it for NBC or CBS? One of those television giants. And guess what? This was originally supposed to be 2-part miniseries. And they did indeed. They shot everything in it. And it was like 4 hours worth of material. But then the head of that TV station decided that no, Americans do not want to be depressed for 2 evenings in a row. So let's scrap this and make it only one television movie. So I don't know how much that would be so awesome to see that, to see the full version of this, but it is, in my opinion, it is not available. It's not my opinion, but to my knowledge, it has been never released on any format. Here I have the Kino Lorber Blu-ray, which is available in Amazon if you're interested, Nico. All Kino Lorbers are available on Amazon as far as I know, except for those which have been out of print. I don't know. Is this out of print? I don't know. But anywho, this is a longer version than what is on this Blu-ray, and actually this includes both original 22-minute television cut and 127-minute theatrical cut. So there was a theatrical release also for this film. And I do know some of scenes that have been cut for content in this film, and they are not on this Blu-ray. There were, for instance, there was this scene where the soldiers are shooting some soldiers that are, you know, like looting or stuff like that. They are executing the soldiers. So that scene got shit canned for that. And some other scene where this child has his eyes burned or something nasty like that. But basically, at the attack sequence, as far as I heard, it was way longer than it takes in this DVD. Alright, Nico sees my troubles and takes some beer. Alright, Nico, thank you so much. I will take a beer. OMG. I'm on a holiday. I only have 2 beers left and some shots. But I ain't gonna be boozing now. So, in this film, what happens? There's a crisis. Of course, there's a crisis. Was it in the Middle East? But basically what happens here is the United States worst fear in the 80s. That the... No. There was some crisis... Fuck that, I don't remember. What was the thing? Some crisis in some part of the world. And as a communistic, like this act of how do you say? Act of... I got frozen. Solidarity. Act of solidarity. The Soviets invade West Berlin. So there you got some crisis. And the crisis escalates very quickly. And thank you, Nico75. It's very hot now. And this beer is warm. Never mind. But basically everything leads to it that... yes, the missiles are flying, and this film is set in... Was it in Kansas? Yeah, well, you're not in Kansas anymore, because all the great missile silos are located in the, you know, in the mid-continent of the United States. So they are like the hotspot for another missile retaliation. Oh shit, Lino Marchetti, I also add 10 in your name to my donation to humanitarian effort at Polish border. well, should I go to the bring 10 euros to the Polish border? Well, I don't know. Well, I thank you. I sincerely thank you. But that's maybe you should direct your humanitarian aid to the real people who need that. But anyway, thanks. Thanks so much. Hey, by the way, I have the super chats here. Thank you for the super chats, $43. Oh my god, this is... Whew. I need to do something more than a damn candle for this crisis. There is a 3-hour version floating around. Is there really? Yuri Laaksonen, is there really? Where can I get that? Because I would be interested to see it. Ah, you mean also you did that? Okay, yeah. In your name. Okay. Alright. Well, thanks. Okay. This is starring Steve Guttenberg, a year before he went to the police academy, and also Jason Robards, great actor, and also Jobet Williams, and also John Lithgow, all in one. For some reason, all these nuclear war films seem to have very good cast, especially the films that are made by the Americans. And this was really a film that really shocked the nation. And the story goes that even Ronald Reagan saw this film and he was very depressed after seeing it. And the story goes that he sent to Nicholas Meyer, he sent a letter from the White House. Not he himself, but somebody in the White House sent a greeting letter to him. And President said that your movie was very effective and he liked it very much. So, and Nicholas Meyer was about to quit making movies because he was so depressed that his film got so much cut when it was on the television. So he was like, okay, shit, I'm out of here. But I bet that this letter from the White House really warmed his heart, because it also said that the president is thinking about the alternatives that something other than he can do for world peace or something like that. So if that's not the best thing you can achieve for making a movie, I don't know what is. So who is making today this type of movie which is helping, Putin to realize what you are doing is insane? I don't know. I really don't. But let's hope somebody does. I think Steve Guttenberg, well, some of people don't seem to like him, but I do like Steve Guttenberg. And here he is doing very good part. He is not trying to be... Okay, it's like, for me, it's a little bit difficult to see Steve Guttenberg, because for me, he is always Mahomo from the Police Academy. But in this, he does indeed do a decent dramatic performance in this film. It's a grueling film. It shows nuclear attack on the United States and the effects on that when the people are burned and the people are dying and the buildings are crushed, and it's depressing film. It doesn't bring any light to the situation. Only thing that it can do for it, only thing that helps, and it will show that people still can care for them, for each other after the worst has come to the passing. And maybe the special effects in the nuclear attack scene are a little bit outdated by today's standards, but I don't too much mind about that. But indeed, it would be interesting to see the longer version, the longer cut on this film. Lino Machetti, thanks. And Nikon75, thanks. It's getting hot. It was on YouTube. I don't know if it's still there. Well, holy shit, if it's still there, I'm gonna be... Well, probably I'm not gonna be watching it today. I think I have had enough new war talk for this day. Maybe I should watch something lighter, like National Lampoon's Vacation or something like that. Or Zombie 3. Alright. That was day after. Maybe everybody out there has seen that film. If you have not seen it, as usual, you should probably check it out, because that was number 2. In my list, that is the second best nuclear war movie ever made. And that is saying something. Could this happen today? Well, I don't see Russians invading West Berlin. No chance in hell. They first need to do plenty of other things. But I can see things escalating very quickly. But let's hope that the cooler heads will prevail. Let's certainly hope so. Because that happened. The cooler heads did prevail. And by the way, now it's time for the honorable mentions before we go to the part 1. Honorable mentions. The cooler heads prevailed in 13 days. 13 päivää. It's a drama film based on a true story about the Cuban Missile Crisis, starring Kevin Costner and wait a second, Bruce Greenwood and Stephen Culp, and directed by Roger Donaldson. Roger Donaldson is more known about his action films, but in this film he does indeed do a proper job of displaying like this very tense political combat which went on in the backgrounds of the Cuban Missile Crisis. This is a good political thriller. If that gets your rocks off, you should definitely check it out. And okay, Kevin Costner is another two-timer on this list 10. And they are all giving very, very good performances. And that was very stressful times. And if you compare it to the nowadays, maybe the situation was more tense, because right now there is no direct threat. Right now there's possibility, yes, for sure, but there is no direct threat about that. But maybe in the future we see a similar kind of film in the what happened in the Putin's Duma in those 13 days. Let's hope that it will leave. It will stop after 13 days. How many days has it been? 10? I don't know. How has the war been going on for 10 days? Couldn't find the 3-hour version, but 2 hour and 7-minute version. See, that is the same version that is on that Blu-ray on DVD, unfortunately. This is really good, check it out. Honorable mention. Not on the list because if it would be on the list, but unfortunately this is not on the list because it is based on true story, and in this true story nothing ever happened. Nuclear war wise. So, and then On the Beach, a famous film starring Fred Astaire, Gregory Peck, Ava Gardner and Anthony Perkins. This is actually made in the 50s and 59, and this is probably the first film that deals in subject of nuclear war. As in the main at least in the mainstream, like in a big budget film. Like in this film, there's a group of people, they are in Australia and the nuclear war has ended, and then there's this radioactive cloud that is approaching Australia, and when it hits the ground, when it hits the Australia, everybody dies. So basically this is not a nuclear war, therefore nuclear war film, but it deals very tensely to the political matter of the nuclear war and also the aftermath. So it should be probably on the list, but no, it is not. And also I think I find this very realistic this situation. Nothing that humans can build could produce a fallout that would cover around the world. No, there is absolutely nothing can do that. There are some types of radioactive stuff that you can add to the bomb, but to my knowledge, everybody tries to build a bomb that is not that toxic radioactive wise. Nobody tries to increase that. And even if you do, you would probably need a fucking warhead that is size of a mountain to do, you know, like cover like the area like a size of Europe. It would require so much material. But maybe this is a science fiction film. Maybe in the future they have developed something like that. But I don't buy it. Anything that deals with world destroying, I don't buy it. Maybe it could be a meteorite. But as far as I know, nobody can weaponize, at least for now, a meteorite. Yeah. I think this is not maybe a little bit overrated film, but I do understand the value of this film. It was first of its kind, and this made a lot of stir, a lot of discussion. It woke up a lot of discussion when the time it was released. And this too has a remake starring wait a second, Armand Assante, but that I have never seen. I think I promised to watch that when I did the Finnish broadcast, but I have not got that in my hand, so can't comment on that. Taivaallinen paskantai on kyllä nikki kohda. Yeah, it's a great nickname. Heavenly Shitter. Hey, 50 people watching. 35 likes. That's a lot of likes. Can you hit me more likes? If you are not subscribed to the channel, you can subscribe to the channel also. So you don't miss the next broadcast if there should be any. If the war starts, maybe there's gonna be a break from more broadcast, but let's not think about that. It's not funny. Alright, War Games. Now, this is a classic film. Like this is a youngster film, youth film. Like a sort of like a Goonie style of film. And this definitely don't belong in the list, but I like to include it because I really do like this film. This has an interesting concept. This guy, Matthew Broderick, probably in one of his first roles, he plays this like a young computer kid who, you know, accidentally stumbles in some Pentagon company firm that they're like offering these war games online. And hey, I'm a sucker. I'm a nuclear war film sucker, and also I'm a ancient computer hacking film sucker. So this kind of combines these two neat things, and also young Ali Sheedy, yeah, that girl in this movie was very adorable. I have seen this like a million times when I was a kid. Maybe this was one of those films that light the nuclear war nerd within me, but I really can't remember. And also this includes like ancient computing. This was made in the year, was it in an 83 or 84 or maybe even 82, but it's 83. It's an old film, and kinda very, it doesn't include nuclear war, but it kinda includes a very exciting theme. This kid starts the game within this computer system, and it starts to play these nuclear war games, and the guys in the NORAD, they are like, what the hell is happening? Our computer is freaking out. It invents like these attacks on the command center. Did you know that this happened in real life back in the 70s? They accidentally ran this training tape in the NORAD computers, and they didn't know what the hell is going on. They actually thought for 10 minutes, good 10 minutes, that there's an actual full-scale nuclear attack by the USSR. And they were, what the hell is going on? And they called the fucking raiders. They said, hey, what's going on? Do you see? Hey, we don't see shit, man. We don't see no damn shit. And they were, what the fuck is the fucking computer is malfunctioning? Then they found out that some idiot has put the wrong, some training tape within the machine. But that was, and also that because of that, they, you know, sent the emergency broadcast to the local television stations that, yeah, there's a nuclear war attack. This is not a drill. So I bet that is something to wake up, that will wake you up in the morning. Fortunately, that was a false call, and this is a false call, but entertaining movie, and it teaches that in order to win in nuclear war, do not play it. Yeah. Could this happen in real life? I don't mean about this, you know, wrong alone business. No. Well, the nuclear weapons are not connected to the computer. Computer cannot decide about the launch. At least not in the United States Army. It will need people to turn the key and press enter the target package in the missile. And that is the only way. You cannot, hack in the system and make it like launch missile. But there was at least rumored to was a system called Dead Hand in Moscow, and like a computer system that will measure out the heat and the pressure in the air. And while this thing is activated, it will check these out constantly, and if it notices that there's a increase in heat and in pressure, then it will try to communicate with Kreml, and if they do not answer, it will ask the commander of this dead hand, so what's up, Doc? Are we gonna go? And if this monitor guy, calls and decides, looks out to the window, nobody knows where this bunker is supposed to be. If he determines that, yeah, there has been a nuclear attack, then this one guy can press a button that will send these like transmission missiles over the USSR or the Russia, and that will activate the missile. But I really don't know if this really true, because that is like a part of lore that they keep telling in the stories. But there have been some reports that some military guys from Russian army said that yeah, it really existed. But if it did exist, why didn't they officially announce that? And of course, if it did indeed exist, these missiles have to be ready. Somebody had to put them in readiness. That they're not like these Terminators would operate these missiles. Nowhere in hell. But I don't know. I don't know what's true, what's not. Whopper wants to play global thermonuclear war. War game is kinda rare cause the hacking is quite realistic. Yeah, you have a point there, Tutiponti, because this is so early film. This is made in the year 1983, so they really didn't have a concept of computer graphics. So everything is done with the command prompt, and that is the way it would actually be happening. There is no fucking graphical interfaces. There's no way in hell there's graphical interfaces that you could command your computer. Hey, Diumias has subscribed to the channel. Welcome to the channel. It's about goddamn time. I see it in my spy console. And everybody else, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel now. If you want to see the next show, you can see it without it too. But it would make me a happy boy. Okie doke. Alright. Red Dawn. Punainen vaara, which means the red danger. Okay. This is not per se a nuclear war film, but it should be mentioned because most of the people confuse this a nuclear war film. But yeah, sure, this is a World War III film, but most of the fighting is done with with these guerrillas played by Patrick Swayze and Charlie Sheen. Yeah, in this film, I don't know. This is by no means this is a realistic scenario. But the United States, continent of United States, is invaded by the Russians and the Cubans. How? How would they do that? John Milius, I know he's a military expert and very interested in military and war, but I don't think this is I'm very sorry, John, but this is not a realistic scenario. I don't think Cubans could invade even a little town or a large town. Even a part of Florida would be a challenge to invade. Even Miami would be a challenge for Cubans to invade. Cuban paratroopers. No, you couldn't. And where do the Russians come? With what? With what do they come? With ships? Airplanes? What? But this film says that the large cities have been nuclear bombed, so maybe there's a larger invasion that we don't know about, which this film doesn't focus on. But I would like to see what else happens in the continent of United States, because it's a good movie. It's a good war movie. And it is also starring C. Thomas Howell and Lea Thompson. Everybody has seen this. Just to ask, is Crimson Tide a nuclear war movie? It's pretty tense and quite realistic. Yes, you're quite right about that. It's pretty tense and pretty realistic, and nuclear war is strong within this. But I did not include on the list a film where the war does not happen. And it is certainly a close call in the Crimson Tide, and I do like I think that is a 5-star movie, hands down. But in my opinion, it doesn't count as a nuclear war movie. But threat of nuclear war is very strong within that. So somebody said Panic in the Year Zero. So here we have Midnight Movies double feature, which includes also Ray Milland's film Panic in the Year Zero. Was this even directed by Ray Milland? Directed by Ray Milland, and yeah, if you don't know who Ray Milland is, he's a veteran actor and apparently also a director. And this film deals about this family going on a holiday vacation, and what do you know, nuclear war starts, and the whole Los Angeles is bombed, and then they have to go to the countryside and listen to the radio and see what happens. This is a very rare film, very rare occasion when the film does this, that it really depicts that nuclear war can be won. Most of the stuff that happens in this film is listened to with the radio, so of course they didn't have the budget to show all this. But it's an interesting film. It's an interesting film, and kind of like I don't know, campy but yet thrilling. Hard to say. And I have watched this like 3 times, which is very rare for me. I have watched this film more than I have seen The Last Man on Earth, which is the second film on this collection tape. Yeah, check it out. And why this was not on the list? Well, I pretty much count this like after the bomb film, but this could have been counted on the list, yeah. Because, yeah, there's radio broadcasts, and then we see the nuclear war and we see the aftermath. So, but I think this film handles nuclear war like it was a conventional war. So only the bombs are bigger. So it's a rare film, and rare type of film, and yeah, entertaining film. Good evening if you've just joined. Right about time for the last one. This is not the last one, but the second last one. Last of my honorable mentions, and this is called Invasion USA. Another very campy film, and this is released from Synapse Film, and this is also starring Dan O'Hurley. So we have third 2-timer on this list. And this film tells about story about people who are in the restaurant, and in the news they see that the Russians have attacked. They are bombing the hell out of the continental United States, and everything is exploding. We see like these great models of cities and buildings. They are exploding from left and right. But basically, because this was made in the 1952, it would be just too shocking. So the Hays Code demanded that this is only a dream. This is only a cautionary dream. So in the end, they like wake up. Whoa, what's going on? Yeah, you saw a dream. But that happens if you are like too easy on the Russians. This is a genuine Red Scare film. If you know what Red Scare means, it means like a very anti-communist and communist-fearing film. It's a fear-monger film, but very entertaining in doing so. Who was the director of this film? Somebody called Alfred Green. But is this a nuclear war movie? Yeah, it is, but like Panic in the Year Zero, it also kind of handles nuclear war with like a conventional war. Only bombs are bigger. And because it was a dream, so that is also a bummer. I do understand that this time and age they had to do that, but nah. But it is an entertaining and funny little picture, to say the least. Halloween Jack has the same release. I read in the papers last week that they have a similar system in the United States. Really? Okay, I have not heard about that. Okay, shall we do number 1? Shall we? It is close to 9 p.m. So, of course, the best movie in this nuclear war list is, of course, 1984's film Threads, directed by Mick Jackson and written by Barry Hines. Holy shit. And I do have the Severin film Blu-ray also, which includes this great looking hologram cover. I can do this all night. But I won't. Yeah. Okay, here we have Simply Media Blu-ray, and this includes the remastered version, which is kind of a better version, because this original version, it also includes the original version, and it's kind of like worn out, very scratchy, but it only gives it more flavor to it. Both of these releases are pretty good, with interviews and audio commentaries and whatnot. Was there? Yeah, audio commentary by director and film writer David Gregory. Yeah. Hey, by the way, I need to listen to that. I don't think I have. This is a different soundtrack. That. Yay! Holy shit! This. Oh my God! I did not even notice this. Severin film release has a different soundtrack with David Gregory. I love to listen to that. David Gregory is one of the founders of Severin Films, and he does indeed have very good points in his documentaries and commentaries, and he's a British guy, and also I'd like to hear about his views about Threads. Okay, so what the hell is this film about? Why this is a number 1? Well, this is like a pseudo document film about these two normal British youngsters, Ruth and Jimmy, and Jimmy is from like this lower middle class family, and Ruth is from upper middle class family. And this film kind of opens like any other drama that came out probably in the year 1984, but in the process that these youngsters, they fall in love, they are in love, and Ruth gets pregnant, and they are moving together and trying to discuss with their parents what to do with their lives, and pretty basic drama. You could say that, yeah, I have seen this already. But in the background, we see news flash, which described like this ongoing crisis in the Middle East, where finally the USA, NATO and Russians, NATO and Soviet Union, they clashed together for some oil business. I don't exactly remember what was that. But point is that there's an ongoing crisis which is constantly developing, and as we see it develop, so does the tension between the people grow even stronger. Now, this is masterfully done dramatic-wise in this film. That is, I think, maybe even the better part of the film is the opening. When the tension rises, it is pretty chilling to see that first nobody pays attention to the crisis, and then it is in everybody's lips, everybody's talking and everybody's taking precautions, and this film does the best job than any other film on this list, like describing how to prepare for nuclear war, what is done, and this is based on real actual facts, actual civil defense plans that they had in that time in Great Britain. Oh my God. And yeah, and the attack sequence, it's much more better done than in the day after. While the day after, it depends on like a outdated visual effects. This here is done with cuts and models, and it's done with very good taste, and this thing really does look impressive even today, and it's grueling. The sound design is fantastic, and also we get to see the aftermath of the war, unfortunately, and the rest of the film, the other half of the film, describes the Ruth traveling around the post-Holocaust England and That is not a pretty sight. And to my knowledge, this is also the only film that describes what happens like year after the attack and what happens like 10 years after the attack. And let me tell you, it's not nice. When 200 megatons fall on UK, it is not a nice sight to behold. Great Britain is reduced to the level of medieval ages in terms of technology, in civilization, in terms of everything. Like it's like a very cleverly done that the new generation that has been born after the war, they do not know how to speak properly. That is one thing that has left my mind. I have seen this plenty of time. This is maybe my most watched film in Hangover, believe it or not. Like when you're in this like fucked up state in mind, put in threads, so you're in the right. But I don't think I could do this nowadays, because now it feels so something that really is could be reality someday. But let's hope it is not. It is not the case that we are all coming out of this thing in one piece and safe and sound. But Threads, 5 stars any day. Maybe one of the best movies I have ever seen. Maybe the best horror film I have ever seen. Well made, well executed. If I had to pick something bad about this film, I don't know. Everything about it is like very cleverly done, and most of the time when I watch this again, I find all the time I find something new. Like in the sound design, I have not previously seen that, but I think was it the last time I watched it? I noticed that this telegram sound, but always what comes like announces what happens. That is, by the way, a very effective way to tell about the story. But after the war, there is not the sound that there is no telegrams after the war. You know, it is done on purpose. And also, there is no nature sounds, no traffic sounds, no nothing like you would probably expect after the nuclear war. I don't know. Whoa, number 1, great stuff. Everybody who is like wanting that, yeah, we should show them nuclear war, what we are made of to the Russians. Everybody should see Threads at least once in a lifetime. This should be mandatory viewing in school. So to make point that is no point of trying to lit a nuclear war, trying to make a nuclear war. And this was when it got aired in year 1984 in Great Britain, and single-handedly over one night the story goes that people were so shocked and they were like asking questions of why we are doing this, why we are getting these weapons, and there was a lot of discussion in the media after that. And to my knowledge, this has I know this for sure. This has never been released on any physical format in Finland, and also it has, I think in my opinion, it has shown on television once in year 1984. But it's a damn shame. It should be shown every time, all the time. Every time they show Police Academy, they should be forced to show also Threads. That's my opinion. 5 stars, anytime. Watch it immediately, now. Yes, the best horror. You heard it correctly. Best horror film. Threat is pure 80s horror. Putin must have missed that movie. Yeah, I think so too. YouTube recommends me now the day after attack segment. That is a good movie, but so depressing. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, man. Yeah. There is this also very bleak PC game about nuclear war. It's all about bombing cities and has a 80s style cold dystopian crash. I think I know that game. You know, that's like these neon colors and this bling, blong. This like a very cold sounds in it. I don't dislike Day After, but it really suffers in comparison to Dread. In my opinion, yes, indeed. This Dread was made. I don't think Dread was released a year after Day After, but I don't think they knew about each other. I don't think was Day After shown on British TV before Dread, but at least if they knew about it, they were already making Dread. So I don't think they got like inspiration from Day After, because in the end of the day they are pretty similar films if you consider that. The game name is Defcon. I think I once tried that, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing, so I was like, forget about it. Hey, 47 people watching and 47 likes. That's a nice even number. I like it. Hey, so what did you like? Did you like it? Do you have any other things to discuss? Hey, I'm here to talk with you. And I think I have been talking all the time. So, yeah. So anybody else have winter holiday except me and Santeri Paju? And Nico also. Did you also have a winter holiday? Yeah, bro. Yeah, yes, you did. Last night I saw Alone in the Dark, having no idea what it was about. What a bonkers movie. Do you mean the film where it's Martin Landau and Jack Palance? Halloween Jack asks. Yes, I already said there is no Finnish release of Dredge. No release whatsoever. Unfortunately. But there is, and also there is only this VHS. This is the only release of The Day After. Yeah, it's a bummer. Yes, and Donald Pleasance. Yeah, Jack Shoulder film. Yeah, that's a great picture. That's a great one. So When the Wind Blows was like number 9. No, it was When the Wind Blows was number 6 on the list. Tutti Punti has 2 days of holidays. Well, enjoy. But let's hope that this situation in Ukraine gets solved quickly, and we don't need to worry about this, and people in the Ukraine can have peace. 20,000 people has been volunteered to go fight in Ukraine, for Ukraine. That's a lot, man. I'm reading the news. Putin and Israel Premier Bennett discussed the Ukraine situation. I wonder when Putin left the Israeli Prime Minister, did he say, "I'll be back, Bennett"? Alright. I miss the times when we... Yeah, I miss also the times when the worst thing was that we got hit by COVID. Those were good times, man. These nuclear war films are quite rare and very hard to find even. No streaming too. Yeah, unfortunately they are. And there's no point in searching any kind of this rare stuff in streaming. I have been telling you this like for a few years now. No Netflix, no even Amazon Prime, they don't have like a... If they do have some rare films, you can never be sure if it's there tomorrow. If you want to be sure that you want to, you know, have Dredge next year also, you best be sure to order it and put it in your shelf. And isn't Dredge available on amazon.co.uk? Halloween Jack's winter vacation is almost over. Fortunately, I got a week of free from work and school. Are you going to school tomorrow or work? Okay, I think I'm gonna be retiring soon. Gonna be watching Bloody Moon tonight. Or maybe something lighter. What are you gonna be watching, or are you gonna be watching anything? Are you gonna watch Triads or Miracle Mile, both on Tubi? Alright. Indeed, Triads is Defcon level 1. Day After is also Defcon level 1. Also, War Game is Defcon level 1. And why not the Testament also? I will watch Countdown to Looking Glass later, yeah. It always makes me happy if I can give good tips for my audience, viewers. But yeah, hey, I thank you for watching, and also I thank all the guys for super chats and all the guys for likes, and of course be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next show, because at this moment the next show in the next Sunday will be another box set madness, so don't miss that. And after that it's gonna be label spotlight, and hopefully after that is gonna be unboxing, so there's gonna be program up the ass. So keep watching the channel, and I wish you good night, and also I wish everybody good luck, and especially good luck to Ukraine, and hope this situation will die out soon, or wind down soon. Let's hope that, everybody, let's hope that. Yeah. It used to be a big thing when nuclear blast was included in the film. Thanks. Yeah. I will have vacation. You can be sure of that. Bye bye.